Sugar. At this point in our scientific evolution, we all know that it's bad for us. But what effects does it actually have on our body? I recently had a really vicious and cruel run-in with sugar that completely changed how I view it. I'm going to tell you what I ate, which I thought at the time would be healthy, and how my body reacted that made me go, wow, this stuff is not good for you. I'm not a nutritionist or a doctor, but I will do my best to link to my sources so that you can check them out for yourself. So stay tuned. If you've been following me for a little while, I've posted a little bit on nutrition and my health regime, and you might know that I'm a bit of a health nut, which cool. So I'll give you a little bit of a history on my relationship with sugar. There was a point in my life where I pretty much lived off of sugar, and I was an alcoholic for about 5 years, and my day kind of looked almost the same every day. I'd wake up and I would have a few coffees, not just one, like a few. And they would have sugar, cream, the works, and basically that's all I would eat for a while. And then I'd get to work. Maybe on the way to work, I'd have a smoothie and, try to keep it healthy and not eat all day. And at the end of the day, maybe have some pizza, some fries, and then have some drinks. And that was my diet for about 5 years. Obviously, I didn't feel great. And when my health got to an all-time low, I realized I really needed to change. So I switched everything up, and I really prioritized my health and my diet and my longevity. So what I did was I went completely vegan and I gave up sugar, okay? But a few years before I drank a lot, I was actually a raw foodist and we're taught all these botched principles on how fruit sugar affects the body and how it's not the same as sugar. And so for 2 years after, even though I was vegan and I quit sugar, I quit refined sugar, so no table sugar and no weird sugar alternatives, but I just ate only fruit sugar and like real sugar. But I still drank juices and I still had fruits and, dates in their whole form. However, I didn't realize until now that all I ate for 2 years was sugar. I pretty much lived off fruits because I was going by these raw foodist principles that I had learned years before that I thought were the best way to live. And I felt like crap, but I was living what I ate, but I ate so much and I consistently overconsumed because I was living off sugar. I pretty much only ate fruits, and then I would have some salad, but everything would start off with fruit. I'd start off the day with fruit because I thought, hey, it's good for your digestion, getting your fiber in. And I was constantly battling a sugar crash for years. For basically almost my whole life until recently, I was battling sugar crashes. What really changed was when I went keto, because that dramatically forced me to stop what I was doing and really look at carbohydrates and where the sugars were coming from and changing what sugars I let in. Basically sugars that didn't contribute to carbs or didn't have actual sugars in it, and still sticking to the more scientifically proven healthy sugars or healthy sugar alternatives that didn't have diabolical effects on the body. The ones I'm talking are like erythritol and monk fruit sweetener and stevia. And now allulose is proven to be quite good for the body too. So I started switching to these and trying to have more savory food in my diet, and my brain fog went away, my energy levels skyrocketed, and I felt like a completely new person. And for about 6 months, I was keto, and then I've been low carb ever since. So it's been about 1.5 years that I've been really restricting sugar. But the whole time for years, I've been doing no white sugar, no table sugar. Maybe like just a couple times a year, I would have just a cookie someone baked. You reject a lot of baking, a lot of things people make for you. So it just comes that sometimes the holidays are around and you don't want to hurt someone's feelings. You have a little cookie and it's not going to make you feel great, but whatever. Which I definitely won't be doing anymore after this experience that I had. It was yesterday. It was a horrible experience. So now I'm feeling great knowing my body's better without the sugar, but I've been bulking lately. So I've been working out a lot and I've been slowly increasing my carbohydrate intake and my whole fruits intake slightly, because of course your body does need carbohydrates to build muscle. And I've been trying to balance out my diet more whilst keeping it high protein, moderate amount of really healthy fat, and just starting to incorporate a little bit of starch, a little bit of carbohydrate from fruit. So I went to the grocery store yesterday, a grocery store that's really far out of my way to get a product that I was completely misinformed on. And I got there and I was disappointed because this product was like 5 times the price that I was told it was. So I decided not to purchase it. Whatever, life's disappointing. But I went all that way and decided, well, I'm going to get myself a treat. And every once in a while, even though I've been eating pretty healthy and pretty clean, I do like have a treat. Have like a croissant or something, which is definitely outside my normal diet because I've been working out very hard and I'm bulking and I'm giving myself permission to like enjoy life and food a little bit more than before. So I bought myself a ham and cheese croissant from this grocery store, which honestly like wasn't that great. And I also came across these, I had kind of a sweet tooth feeling, but I have these feelings and then I never buy sweets because I really don't want to buy sugar. But I was really craving it. I was like really hungry and I walked by this package and the package was really cute, looked like for kids and like delicious soft chews or something, all natural. And I looked at the ingredients quick and it's basically just bananas and coconut. And I didn't really think too much about it. I'm like, it's just bananas and coconut. It's organic, volcanic bananas, amazing. And soft chews. It just sounded exactly like I wanted, like a candy, something I don't ever get to have. So I cash out, leave the grocery store, eat my ham and cheese croissant, and then I dig into these soft chews. And I mean, they were good, but I don't know what I was expecting because when I was a raw foodist way back in the day, I've had like soft chews and like banana squares like that before. They just taste like super ripe bananas. There's nothing special about them. Not hating on anyone that enjoys that treat, but that's all it was. So one, that was kind of disappointing, but like, I'm getting it in. And as I'm almost finishing the package, I'm like, okay, I'm really feeling different. I am feeling my blood sugar spike. Because when you're more conscious about it, you're not constantly spiking your blood sugar all the time. You really notice when it happens and when you eat something that spikes it. Because when you have a stable blood sugar, you have a better benchmark of what that feels like. So I started feeling it. I was like, okay. And I'm like plopping the last couple pieces of mouth and I look at the label and I was like, oh my God. And it wasn't a big package, maybe like 150 grams or something. But then I look and I wasn't thinking because, bananas are healthy, right? And I consumed like 200 grams of sugar. To put in perspective, that's like 13 tablespoons of sugar. Okay. So my body went wild. Within minutes, I developed this ankle pain and a limp. I was limping my way home, which was not great. And I remembered in the past that, wow, this used to happen. I used to ignore it. If I ate like those times that I did cheat and eat table sugar or have a treat, I would have joint pain. Like usually it was ankle pain or knee pain I would have. Sometimes it would manifest in the elbows or the ankle or the wrists. So I started limping and I basically like had to half my walk speed and limp home, which was not great. I have never had an experience with sugar like this in my life. I had the craziest glucose spike that I could consciously remember having. It felt like I was on drugs. It felt like I had smoked cannabis and I was extremely high. I was dizzy. I had the sense of blasé. My brain fog was unreal and I was confused and I was hungry. And you know how much I ate that night? I couldn't stop eating because my blood sugar spiked so high. And I ate all healthy food afterwards, but I overate to the max. And I'm still like shocked. Ever since starting this YouTube channel, I've talked before about how it's alleviated depression, I guess expressing my creativity, but I've also been like one-upping myself in terms of my habits in life and trying to be the best self I can, because part of this channel is being a testimony of growth and progress. Oh, I have the brain fog right now. I became really depressed for the rest of the evening and it was really hard. Catatonically depressed. Got home and sat on the couch and didn't want to do anything. And that's not like me. Usually I get home, see if I could get like a little bit of editing in to save time on my YouTube designated days and catch up on comments, catch up on emails. And I just sat there and doing nothing. And I really try not to consume too much television before bed. So maybe I'll watch half an episode of something and then turn off the TV around 9 o'clock. And I just sat there and binge watched TV because my brain was so dull and I was so desensitized that that's all I could do. And I had fun. I watched a couple episodes of Fallout, which is an okay show. I'm almost at the end, so that was cool. I will never forget that experience, and I'm totally off sugar. So let's talk about sugar and what it does to the body. So what I learned when I was a raw foodist was there's refined sugar, which is sugar that's been stripped away from its fiber. And so it's really harsh on the body and on your digestive system and spikes your blood sugar. And then there's sugar in fruit form, which has the fibers attached. So your body processes it differently, and that's all good and all healthy. La-di-da-di-da. And there's some truth to that. It is always better to eat foods in whole food form and have the proteins and fibers and everything attached, and your body processes it more efficiently and knows what to do with it better, because the whole packet of code is all there with the instructions on what to do with the food. And when you strip individual elements apart, then it becomes a little more nuanced, you know? Someone I love right now is Glucose Goddess. She's becoming really big because she's talking about sugar and glucose spikes in a way that appeals to everyone, not just health nuts like me who are totally prepared to give up every dessert in the world for the rest of their lives, for their health. Most people aren't prepared to do that. So she's really cool. Check out her channel. She talks about things in a way where if you want to have your piece of cake or your dessert, you know, you prep your body by eating foods in a certain order. So basically what she says to do is have a veggie starter, and the fiber from the veggies line your intestines and decrease glucose spikes in the body. So that's something I do. And I make sure to do that before like I have fruits or whatnot. And I've noticed a change in my energy levels. But this is something I did not do when I had the ham and cheese croissant and the packet of these fruit chews. And I definitely paid the price. I'm glad I had the experience because the banana chews weren't even like amazing. So it wasn't even worth the taste. But now I could see firsthand the impact of a huge glucose spike. And it ruined my sleep last night. I feel better because I worked out this morning, but until I was like almost at the end of my workout, I was catatonically depressed. It was hard to even get me to work out today. And I'm having a hard time recording this video. I don't know how I'm going to do my YouTube stuff today. I'm really all over the place up in here. So now our modern science is showing that sugar from fruit is healthier because it's in its whole food form and the proteins and fibers are attached and whatnot. But they still spike your blood sugar levels. It still creates a glucose spike in your body, and glucose spikes are shown to be harmful. According to WebMD, glucose spikes are responsible for dehydration, diabetes, impairs kidney functionality, causes anemia, which means your body doesn't create enough healthy red blood cells, causes hypercalcemia, which is when you have too much calcium in your bloodstream, and reduces the amount of saliva that your mouth is producing, which makes it harder for your body to digest food. This is just from WebMD alone, which is just lightly brushing over the topic of a blood sugar spike and the negative effect it has in your body. These things I listed affect every hormone system in your body. So if you check out Glucose Goddess's page, she shows how you could use vegetables in order to reduce glucose spikes. But she also talks about how when you make a fruit not its whole food form, so if you blend it or juice it, eviscerate it in some way, then you're actually destroying the fiber particles. And when you do that, then it's no longer going to be the healthy sugar anymore, and it's going to wildly spike your glucose. If you eat an apple, it's completely different than having apple juice or even like an apple smoothie, or if you make your own apple sauce, because you're eviscerating the fiber particles in the apple, and so your body has a harder time dealing with the glucose, and it goes straight into your blood, causing a huge spike, which could have horrible repercussions on your health. Another healthy alternative to sugar is coconut sugar or coconut palm sugar, because even though, again, this is refined, it causes a much lower glucose spike in your body than refined sugar or even fruit juice would. That being said, these sugars do still cause a glucose spike, so you should still have them in moderation. But then you have sugars like stevia and erythritol and allulose and monk fruit. These barely cause a glucose spike, if any at all. So these are a great sweet alternative. So these are the sugars that I try to incorporate in my diet. If I'm going to be sweetening something like, a meal or whatnot. If something calls for a refined sugar in the recipe, this is what I use. However, if I'm going to eat a piece of fresh fruit, like I'll still eat a banana, and when I work out, during my workout, I have a protein shake and I have a date, a fresh date, but just a single date, because then I'm restricting it to just a few grams of sugar, and it's that healthy sugar. And dates have tons of minerals. That's not going to spike my blood sugar. I even have a bit of honey sometimes, but I usually have it kind of like as a supplement. So I'll have a tiny bit of honey on my tongue just to get the nutrients from it, and have such a small amount that it doesn't spike my blood sugar. And I always do it at the end of a meal, again, to reduce the possible glucose spike, because honey's really healthy. But if you have a tablespoon of honey, then it's going to spike your glucose like anything else. You have a tablespoon of maple syrup, it's probably not going to be that bad. But if you have a cup of maple syrup, it's going to spike your glucose, okay? If you have a cup of coconut sugar, it's going to spike your glucose. But when you incorporate these things into recipes, it's going to be a lot better than plain sugar or even fruit juices. I've been focusing a lot on my cognitive health lately, which is why I decided to make this video, because I noticed how much it impaired my thinking, my judgment, and my behavior just having these banana bites. And I want to pass along the wealth of information to all you beautiful people.